Let me tell you what, Grayson is fed up. Hey y'all, hey, welcome to another deep dive with Toya Creates. Today is Thursday, May 27th, and we are going to get into a crazy episode of Beyond the Gates. But of course, if you like content like this, please like, comment, follow, subscribe. I would love to hear what you thought about today and any other storyline that's catching your eye. So let us get into it with my handy dandy notes because they definitely made up for the 2 day preemption. So one of the major storylines to me, I don't know why, was Tomas plus Bill plus Cat. So Bill is telling Tomas that he needs to focus on this latest case that he's been assigned. It's not the Lynette one. And, Tomas is apologizing again for involving Kat in the Lynette case. And Bill is in the middle of chewing him out when Kat walks in and tells Bill he can ask her directly about the situation. Here we go. So Bill was trying to explain to her, this is coming from a place of love. He still considers her his niece. Cat don't give a damn, okay? He is concerned because, they don't know if Lynette's a career criminal or what. So he's just like, number one, I pay Tomas to do this. And number two, or number one, this is dangerous. But Kat is not trying to hear that. So Bill is like, you know what? You have entirely too much time on your hands. And maybe you should talk to my daughter about doing some extra stuff in that little purse business. Now, Bill, that was not okay. And Kat was right to snap back. Like, first of all, I don't work for your daughter. Hence, the name is Chelsea Cat, like we are partners, because that was a low blow. But Bill is just nervous. He knows what he's dealing with Cat, and so he was just like, as my niece, and Cat was like, he said, my former niece, I just want to look out for you. But Cat continues to protest, but Bill does not care. He said anything involving his firm is his business, not hers, and her sleuthing is over. And Tomas was like calming her down. He like, girl, you better shut up, basically, because you need to stop because you gonna get me fired for real. Because Bill has been very agitated with Tomas, even though it's not really Tomas's fault. All these heifers getting in the business, and Haley, it's just justice for Tomas. He should have went to the other gig, but whatever. So that was happening there. I wrote a note that was a major story. Was it a major story? I mean, it was majorly entertaining for me because I like to see Bill and Kat tussle. So, yeah, that happened earlier in the story. So we also see Haley and Vanessa. So Vanessa was in the middle of closing this luxurious penthouse in DC for Lynette when she went AWOL. So then Vanessa found out last week through Tomas that Haley was actually the person who was going to buy this property. She and Bill were going to buy this investment property and allow Lynette to stay in it, right? So Vanessa just happens to run into Haley, I think at Uptown, and Vanessa put on her little real estate hat, her realtor, broker hat, whatever you call it. She was like, hey girl, hey, did you still want to buy this penthouse? So Haley starts deflecting because she's trying to feel out if Vanessa is truly just asking about the transaction and wanting a check, or is she digging elsewhere because Vanessa is besties with Danny and Nicole, and Vanessa does not bang with Haley. But Vanessa just said, it was about the penthouse, and so Haley just lets her know that she and Bill are no longer interested, and they just got a home in St. Bart's, and unfortunately Lynette was hustling her, and now she's come to her senses and blah blah blah. you know, Haley gets an Oscar or a Daytime Emmy for Best Victim Bitch. I'm so tired of it. But that's basically it with Haley and Vanessa. So, okay. Vanessa's like, okay, and she goes on about her business. So then we see, and I'm going to try to keep it in order, but you know, bear with me. So we also see, let me see. I want to go more in order. We saw Randy and Joey at the casino, and Joey, now this was a major part. Joey has some type of dealings with this plasma ring. I don't know what it is exactly. And I remember another week where they kind of alluded to it or foreshadowed it. It was one of the weeks he was doing his books or something, and he was talking about additional businesses or so. He said something that made me be like, So today, Randy came into the casino, and Joey was like, he wanted eyes on this investigator, aka Smitty, because he wants to know what Smitty's looking for and what he knows. So Randy was like, yeah, I'll put my guy on it. And Joey was like, no, I want you to handle this personally. So now Randy is tracking Smitty unbeknownst to him. So then after Randy agrees and heads out, we finally see Joey calling Leah directly. So I was like, she is either the ex-wife or the long-lost sister, in my opinion. But he called Leah and he was like, we got a little situation with this investigator and I have my men on it to see what they can find out. So I'm just like, I was like, oh my God. So they are confirming that Joey and Leah are connected, but we don't know how just yet. So then let me remember after that, what else? You know what? I can just look at my phone because that's how I do it. So hold on, y'all. Hold on. Because I feel like it's better if I just go in order. So yeah, that happens. So then after that, Leah goes directly from the hallway into Nicole's office. And she's just following up on this data breach that occurred a couple of weeks ago because, she's giving her an update that Leah spoke to Detective Malone, and she's assuring Nicole that they will get to the bottom of it. And Leah was doing some more questioning, and she was just like, are you sure you don't remember anyone coming into your office that day? Then Nicole starts thinking back, and she says no, but we all know that Nicole is covering for Smitty. Now, she knows good and damn well Smitty was in that office, but she ain't say nothing. That's right. So I wonder, and Nicole also does not fully know what Smitty is doing. She just knows that he is investigating a potentially dangerous situation. And she was asking around last week or 2 weeks ago just to try to see what Smitty was into, but she couldn't get nothing. So I am curious to see what Nicole does after this because, she had the good sense not to tell Leah. So before Leah could go any further, Carlton comes in. Maybe this is one good time I'll be happy to see Carlton, but I hate that mofo. Anyways, he comes in because it is still the non-anniversary day. Because I said still, because he said he was going to take her out on a date to take her mind off of what would be her anniversary. Oh, we did this last week. Anyway, so he said he was going to take her go-karting. I guess. She liked it. I said, all right. And then they head out. Whatever. So then we see Naomi and Ashley just catching up. Ashley is spiraling. She is like, I want to investigate this and we need to talk to Smitty. And Naomi is just not believing that, Smitty has anything to do with it. She just doesn't see how Smitty could be involved, and Ashley's just spinning out. She's like, why do I continuously pick men that lie to me? Yes, girl. Yes, that's the question. And, Naomi's trying to make her feel better. She's just like, maybe Greyson was trying to protect you, and, what he could be involved in could be very dangerous. And, Ashley's freaking out. She's like, if I'm found out for stealing these meds, because when Greyson showed up to her door, shanked, Ashley went down chick for him, went to her job and stole some prescription antibiotics to help her man. So, she's just spiraling about everything. And she just still really thinks there is a connection with Smitty. So, again, I want to get my timing right. So then after that conversation, we see Mr. Greyson. He was like, He rolled up in that hospital and he strong-armed Leah and put her in the corner. He is confronting her. He's had enough, okay? He figured out, or he just surmised, that Leah was the one who was behind this spying on Ashley, the picture and the text. So he was like, you have crossed the line. Stay away from Ashley, basically. I was like, go ahead, Greyson. Because he's like, I know it was you. Who do you have tailing Ashley? And he is not playing games with her anymore. And Leah better leave Ashley out of this before he exposes Leah's whole operation. And because, he said Leah went too far and she's a monster. And Leah was like, you have no idea the depth our employers will go to. And there is never an out. Ever. Period. You're never getting out. And she just walks off. Leah is a cold because she was and that's how she left it, and she meant that thing. So then let me see. All right. So then Jacob and Smitty are meeting up, and Smitty puts on his little detective outfit. I hate it. I hate his undercover outfit so bad, and it's always the same hoodie and that hat. So he goes over to Jacob's motel room, but he does not know that Randy is tailing him, and he is literally right behind him, but Smitty does not see him. So Smitty goes inside, and Randy's just out there surveying, right? Then he gets a text from Haley, and so Randy has to leave. So he sends someone else in his place. We don't know who he did, but he sent someone else in his place to keep an eye out. And Haley is just so excited after her conversation with Vanessa because she feels like everything is falling into place. She thinks Vanessa really only wanted to talk about the penthouse, and no one's on our trail, and everyone's past the point of any doubt. And Randy also takes credit for taking care of everything, and they literally both think they are in the clear. They're gonna get this $10 million, and they toast with, I'm sure, the finest champagne. Okay, so then we go back to the casino really quickly, and we see Joey reading this letter. And it's like a sad, like a bittersweet, more bitter than sweet letter. As he's folding it away and putting it in his pocket, Vanessa walks in and she's like, what are you reading? And he tells her it's a letter from his sister. And of course, Vanessa wants to dig deep because she can see that Joey's upset about it, and she loves Joey's dirty draws. So she want to know what's wrong with her baby. And, he really doesn't want to talk about it, but he does mention some things. We find out that today, the non-anniversary date, is the actual anniversary of when Heather, Joey's long-lost sister, removed herself from the family. So she had had enough, and she went ghost, and she asked not to be followed, and Joey has respected that, let him tell it. But again, so who is Leah to you, Joey? I feel like she has to be, I feel like the sister. But again, could be the ex-wife that broke his heart. I don't know. But it's one or the other. Anyway, so, he doesn't make a big deal out of it, and neither does Vanessa. She gives him his, time. She was like, you don't have to tell me everything today. You could tell me when you're comfortable. And so she accepts that, and that's basically it with them. I'm not going to belabor the point. So that after this scene, we see this wild scene from Greyson. Greyson is crashing out, y'all. So Naomi and Ashley are still talking about everything, and they hear this crazy police knock at the door, and they go and answer, and Greyson is like, hide your kids, hide your wife. He's like, Ashley, pack what you can. Me, you, and my mama gotta go. Naomi was like, I know you don't think she running away with you. That man was spiraling out. And everyone's like, what the hell is going on? So then Ashley tosses that bag back to Greyson, and she stares back in confusion, like, what is going on? So Greyson just says, you have to trust me, and he tells them that someone is watching Ashley, and he shows them the proof on the phone, right? So Naomi and Ashley are like, and then he said he will explain everything once he gets Ashley and his mother to safety. Damn, Naomi. But and then Greyson, and Ashley's like, I'm not, no. And Naomi's protesting, and they're like, what is going on, whatever. And then Greyson drops the ball. He was like, let me see. He starts running his mouth about Naomi needs to be worried about her crooked cop husband, because he is really working as Rashad, and he's a dirty cop. And so Naomi was like, what? It actually really, she was kind of stone-faced. So then Grayson's he stops mid-spiral, and he starts questioning. He was like, so why didn't you really flinch when I mentioned Jacob as, working in this capacity or being a dirty cop? And Ashley's like, of course I'm concerned. I'm just so confused with everything. And so Greyson, he is still trying to get her to leave. And Ashley tells him at one point, no, we are done. We are done until you can trust me enough to tell me the truth. And until then, I do not want to see you anymore. And she can handle herself, and they are no longer together. But Greyson didn't even cry. He didn't even react. He was like, all right, all I can say is please just keep yourself safe. And Ashley is like, I will. And Naomi says she will be fine. And then he just leaves. So then Naomi calls Jacob immediately, who is in the hotel room, or the motel room, updating Smitty. They didn't have no major updates at this point. And so Naomi's like, hey. She's like, hey, Jacob, Greyson just came in here and said all this stuff. Did she ask him about being a crooked cop? I don't know. She was just like, Greyson came in here and he said someone's watching Ashley, and he showed us the proof. Because Jacob was like, well, how do you know that? And she he showed us. And so Jacob calls Elon, who is his father, and his father is also the chief of police. So he calls Elon to have someone watch Ashley's residence, and he instructs Naomi to stay there. They don't get into the whole crooked cop thing, whatever, because Naomi knows that he's undercover, and so does Ashley. So I guess Naomi's just like, oh, she's putting things together in real time, but she's not mad at Jacob because she knows, oh, he's not being a crooked cop. And so let's put a pin in that for a while. Hold on, let me get back to my little. So then we see Tomas and Kat entering uptown. Carlton and Nicole are already there after their go-karting Dave and Buster's date. And, they're just having a good time. And Nicole was like, oh, Carlton, did you know that Ted sent you in the wrong direction at that conference in Hawaii? And Carlton was like, yeah, I knew. And he been waiting in the wings ever since. I'm sorry, you're still not going to make me like you. Whatever, I don't care. Ted got there first, so she off limits. Anyways, if your friendship meant anything. So Nicole and Carlton are having a good old time, and Kat and Tomas walk in, and she is still venting about the building, like, how dare he? Who does he think he is? And she looks over and she sees Nicole and Carlton. And Kat was like, oh. So then she and Tomas walk over to the table. There's no drama. Kat is actually very happy about this. I don't know why. He a snake. Anyway, she was just like, it's nice to see you smiling like this, mother. And I love seeing someone look at you that way, because Carlton really does like her, but it's, loyalty, what happened to it? But Kat is just very happy, and she was like, this is just the icing on the top, just to have this piece for her mother. So then Nicole gets up and they hug, and that's basically it for that. So then Haley, she was at Uptown toasting to, we're gonna get away with it. Ooh, yay. Why she go to Bill's office drunk as a skunk? Champagne bottle in hand. Very much giving nobody knows the trouble I see. Like the cartoons back in the day. She was very drunk. So Bill was like, he was like, oh, did you drink the whole bottle alone? Who were you with? And of course, Best Actress of the Year starts deflecting. It goes into, since your ex-wife was a drunk, I'm a drunk too. All of the things. And then Lynette and all the things. Because I don't even want to get into it. I'm so sick of Bill being this stupid. This nose wide open. I'm sick of it. I want Haley to get what is coming to her, or I at least want Bill to figure it out. How are you this dynamic attorney and you are getting played like a fiddle by multiple people close to you? Anyway, so he's like, did you drink this whole bottle? Who are you with? She's like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, I noticed you've been drinking more than usual, too. And she's like, oh. But he said he wasn't judging. He was just making an observation. And Haley's just tired of discussing Lynette. I am, too. And thinks that he is bringing down the vibes, honey. Yes, like a good lush would say. So then Bill has, been working with this PI, and he's been having Tomas monitor the things. So Keegan, the PI, messages Bill, and the message just says he's gonna check Lynette's transport again. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I am missing why that is a big part, but Haley's in the background with her drunk ass, and she's just, peering. Because she doesn't hear anything. It's just a text. But she's just scoping out the scene. So then, finally, Ashley is putting on her scrubs. Burgundy, like that color. And she going to work. Naomi's like, where are you going? Ashley said work. I guess she's going to work to keep up appearances so nothing seems off. But there is no way on God's green earth I would leave that place after someone has shown up telling me that someone's watching me and that I am in danger, and then you've heard Naomi call her police husband. Why? Girl, take a sick day. Say you got COVID. I don't know. Diarrhea, something. Anyways, Naomi's like, oh, okay, girl. Well, I'll be here in safety. So I'll be here when you get back. And Ashley just leaves. Okay, stupid, dumb. Then we go back to the motel. Smitty and Jacob are still talking about everything. Oh my God, I forgot this. Because Ren has been MIA for days. And Jacob has noticed that and he's commented on it. So today, out of the blue, Ren texts Jacob and says, "Oh, I have work for you." And Jacob was like, "Oh, all right." His little undercover accent. What is it? Are you trying to have like a DC Merlin, DMV kind of accent? He like, "Yeah, what up? What?" Just talk regular. Anyways, Ren has risen from the dead and he has an assignment for Jacob. But Jacob's like, "I don't trust this." And Smitty's like, "Why?" And Jacob's like, "I don't know, just my police detective senses tingling because this man has been disappeared for a while. We don't know where he's been." He comes out of the blue with this new job. So Jacob thinks it's either the overlords or whatever are ramping things up and they have new plans. Oh, because Smitty also talked about how he noticed more oh my God, commotion, more trucks and stuff at the warehouse where they're pushing this blood or whatever. So Jacob is just like, either things are picking up with the overlords or this is a trap. And he doesn't know. So Smitty's just like debating if he should just release what he has of the story so far because it's getting too hot for Smitty. It's been too hot for Smitty for 2 weeks. But Jacob's like, no. And Jacob, once again, he's like, no, I want to keep going. I can't drop this right now. And he thinks there is more to the plasma ring than just exploiting the poor. And like Jacob said, he is not going to relax until he gets to the bottom of this. And then there's another crazy police knock at the door, and baby, Greyson came in there mad. Okay, Latino heat. That man is hot. He was like, "I know you've been playing me the whole time, Jacob." So when Ashley and Naomi barely reacted to Greyson saying your husband's a dirty cop, that's when it clicked in Grayson's head. He was like, "Oh, I know you lying." He went over there and was like, "I knew you've been playing me this entire time and you are undercover." And that's how it ends. Now remember, y'all, we do not know who is outside watching, but they are going to report back to Randy, who's going to report back to Joey. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is the most I've been excited about this plasma ring thing since maybe the shanking. Maybe all of the stabbing and the violence. But look, I am Beyond the Gates is cooking. And despite all of these preemptions, because why it always got to be Beyond the Gates, they are still doing a fantastic job. So I am so ready for tomorrow. I don't even know what's gonna come next, and I'm excited for that. So again, if you like soap content like me, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.